Hey everybody, I got a new review for y'all today. Today we're going to be looking at this knife right here. This is the Bantam BHW. Just so you guys know, I'm actually giving one of these away in my contest. That's ending the 1st in about a week or so. So if you haven't checked that out, definitely check it out. I'll leave a link in the description. I keep plugging it because I want to see a couple more entries. That'd be nice. But it's not going to be this exact knife. I have 2 of them, so you'll be getting a slightly newer one. Some specs before I get into the review. Your blade length is 3 1/8 inches of drop point 420 HC steel. Overall length is closed is 4 3/8 inches. Weight is 2.4 ounces. And the handle is a thermoplastic with a textured type surface. It's a very nice high value folder. Let's do some size comparisons. I have the Bantam here, a Kershaw Skyline, and the Spyderco Tenacious. 3 very nice value folders, and you can see it's about the same size as the Skyline up here, and it's a little bit shorter than the Tenacious. So it's a good size. It's a good size for EDC. That 3 1/8 inch blade is great for EDC. It's the perfect size. Mostly because you don't get too much cutting edge that hampers your ability, but you just get enough to do most tasks. For this knife, I actually have carried and cut with it a lot because I like to carry this whenever I don't. I want to do something nasty with it. Go out and do yard work or just just something that where it might take a bit more abuse than I want to put on my nicer, more expensive knives. So I just go with this guy right here, and it's great for that. It is cheaper than the folders, the Tenacious and the Skyline here. You can find this knife for $17 on Knife Center, and usually on eBay, if you actually look around, you can find them for about $10. Maybe even under 10 if you go used. So let's start with the blade. The blade is again the 3 1/8 inch of 420 HC. It's very well ground. The hollow grind is very nice on this knife. The previous owner, before I got this one, brought the edge back, so it's very nice and sharp on this one. But all the bucks I've had that are new have great out of the box sharpness, and it is a good grind. It brings it to a relatively thin edge because the thickness of the blade is rather standard. There's a nice little swedge on the blade, very nice curves, and satin. Buck does a very good job with their satin finish, whether it's Chinese produced or American produced. It looks very nice. I like the shape of the blade. You can see it. It's a pretty good looking knife. Got the Buck name up here, and you got the model here, the 285. What is that? A Psi, and it's an Arrow. 285 Arrow. It's just a Buck 285, and this one is made in China. Anyways, with the 420 HC steel, you're going to be getting a good amount of use out of it, and you don't really have to sharpen it that much, to be honest. We way overstate how often we need to cut, unless you're cutting carpet all day long. You're actually not going to be even touching this knife up that much, even if you use it on a daily basis, in my opinion. Maybe for the uses I have are just like soft compared to yours. Just a package opening, I cut a lot of tape. And I will use this knife as a yard beater, and I haven't had to sharpen it, since I got it, even though I've used it quite a bit. It still cuts paper well. I don't know what they did, what Buck did to heat treat this. Maybe I'm just using my knife the right way. Let's move on to the thumb studs. The thumb studs are a nice ambidextrous pillar design. Very easy to deploy, either hand. It's not really the kind of knife where you flick it out. You can, but I just don't like doing that with lockbacks. It just doesn't feel safe to me. Let's go on to the handle. The handle is a nice thermoplastic, which is basically FRN type handle. Ergonomics are good. You can take basically 2 grips I like. 4 fingers, obviously, second index finger, third and fourth, and the 5th finger here make a very nice handhold with your thumb on the jimping. You can also move it up here, and this is less secure because you're coming very close to the blade edge. But I mean, it's just a, if you're just using it for a little bit to do some fine work, that's good. The lockup on this knife is, actually, let's talk a little bit more about the handle. It's contoured very nicely to the hand. It's kind of rounded, not quite so much as the Bucklight, but there's kind of like a cutaway here, so it's kind of, it's not round per se, but it's kind of like blocky. But it's not too thick, actually. This carries pretty nicely in the pocket. Here's a thickness comparison with the Tenacious, and you can see it's very similar. The lock bar on this guy is very nice and strong. I have no doubts about the strength, but I think some people might complain, and this is where the price comes in. At about $10, you'll see, this knife is actually remarkably well finished for a $10 knife, but you can still see the occasional mistake. For example, the back spacer is not lined up well. There's like a ding in the corner of the lock bar here, and there's also, it doesn't meet up very well when it's opened. You can see this one's higher than the other one, and it's kind of dinged on the corners and stuff. But that's all minor stuff. I mean, if you're looking for a working knife, I've had knives twice, 3 times the price that have had more fit and finish issues than this one. So basically, they're not sacrificing so much the fit and finish, so much as the materials, and these are probably the lowest end materials that you'll find. Well, I mean, you can find 440As and stuff, but this is the lowest respectable materials that you'll find on a knife. FRN, which I like, and 420HC, which I like, but no lower. The lock bar does kind of come up on the jimping, so it kind of interferes with that. The knife is pinned, which might serve as an issue for some people. I'm not sure about what you think, but to be honest, I could care less. I mean, this blade has developed play left to right and up and down. Very little up and down. I don't want to exaggerate that. But I've never minded that, because lockbacks seem to be that way. When you get something like a liner lock and you get up and down play, that's something to worry about, because it's more likely that something like the liner will slip or some bad thing like that. That's really dangerous. But with a lockback, you can have a little bit up and down play without the lock bar coming anywhere near close to failing on you. So it's not a big problem, blade play. But you want to make sure you don't have it on the liner locks, and that's why a pivot point is important on a liner lock so much more than it is on something like a lockback knife like this. I mean, it doesn't really matter if you have this knife here pinned, because you're not going to be breaking it. So let's look at the clip. I mean, if you just looked objectively at this knife, you took off the clip and you looked at it, and you're just like, oh, that's the perfect ambidextrous knife. I mean, you got opposing thumb studs, and you got the lockback design, which is known for, it's obviously symmetrical. It's going to be ambidextrous for you. But the problem is the clip, they only have one position, right pocket tip down. I personally would not mind paying a little more, maybe $2 maybe. I think that's all it would cost them per knife, maybe, if that, to tap all 4 places. And I think that would just be a great addition to the knife, and just open up a huge, high value folder to all those left-handed southpaws out there. But sadly, it's not to be. And you left-handed people can carry it in your left pocket. It's just, it's gonna be kind of awkward when you're pulling out of your pocket, obviously. I haven't talked about the texture on the plastic here. It's got, it looks kind of like sandpaper. It's just like they took the plain FRN, they roughed it up a bit. But speaking of the roughness and the smoothness, you can see that they have a strip here of smooth FRN that adds to the aesthetics. And in addition, it's a good place to put the clip, so you don't rip up your pockets every time you put this in. The clip is good though. I mean, it buries decently deep. I mean, you can't really tell that's a knife, to be honest. And in addition, I mean, it's plenty strong. I mean, overall, this is just a an exercise in just, you know, great knife mating. Wow. Somebody's gonna tell me that's some sort of Freudian slip or something. Not mating. What was I talking about? What was I talking about? Oh, knife making. This is just an exercise in good, high value, high quality knife making at a price that's, you know, affordable to everybody. And I think this is a great stocking stuffer if it's not too late for you guys to get for somebody for Christmas, for any gift. You know, just out of the blue, give your you know, brother, sister, parents, best friends, everybody, just give them, you know, something affordable like a buck, like this, and they'll learn to be knife people. Hopefully you can get them addicted just like us, but also just appreciate the knife as a tool in and of itself. And I think this is a phenomenal starter knife. This or the Bucklight is just, you know, a great place to start. But yeah, definitely very high fit and finish for the money. Obviously, this is not something you're gonna be raving about all day long. But if you, at the end of the day, if you need a solid workhorse of a folder, you need something that you can depend on, that you're not afraid to beat up, this will be there for you. Anyways, this is my review of the Buck Bantam BHW. Check out the contest in addition if you haven't, and I hope you guys enjoy the review. I guess I was a little long-winded this time. My voice is also starting to go hoarse, so sorry if I'm being quiet. But hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all later. Yeah, and happy holidays, actually. I can't believe I didn't mention that yet. You know, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or whatever you celebrate. And Happy New Year's to you guys if I don't get another video out before then. See you guys later. Peace.